All right, we're live.
Beep, 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 mommy.
I need to update this.
Mommy.
Oh, we got one viewer. 6 viewers, 2 likes. Hold on, I'll show my face in a second, guys. I got my phone turned on the better camera right now, but I'm trying to get my computer up. I'll just turn around this way for now. What's up? Get my hat back. I can't see any comments either. Not seeing any comments yet.
Oh, just like crash.
Awesome. Well, guys, I was trying to view comments on my laptop again. If anyone's in the market for a laptop, don't buy a HP. I've had nothing but problems out of this thing with the Beats audio speakers and stuff, and it's been nothing but junk.
Envy.
What is? I can't see any. Hold on, guys. You got your phone?
Yeah, let's see if it's gonna work now. There we go.
Can we see comments?
Yep, on
All
the
right.
side here. Everybody saying what's up.
I'm working on it, guys. 1 second.
I'm gonna center you.
All right, I can see everyone now. Mike, what's up, brother? We got Texas Performance Trucks. What's up, man? Jonathan, Fat Boy Racing. What's up? Alex, what's up, man? Got Alex Lisa from Spooling Up Performance. If you guys haven't checked his channel out, hop on over and check his channel out after the live chat. Have you ever used? Hey guys, before I start answering questions, and I'm just gonna let you guys know, I'm trying this new super chat thing out. It lets you send me money. I'm not asking you guys to send me money. But if someone's feeling frisky and just wants to toss some money my way for the car, then that's perfectly fine. If not, then that's fine. I'm gonna answer everyone's questions either way. Just letting you guys know that I do have it turned on. So if anyone's feeling generous. Jonathan Mack, I have never used HP tuners. I wish they were more user-friendly for the Mustang platform, but SCT really has the Mustang platform locked down. Yeah, Fat Boy Racing, you know I always got a Miller. Bill, what's up, man? Texas Performance Trucks in the 02 Lincoln Continental have forged internals. I think the only Mustang that came with forged internals was the 2003-2004 Mustang Cobra. So we got 19 watching. I feel like I answered most of the people that are watching's questions on the last live video, but if anyone's got any questions, feel free to shoot them my way, or I can just kind of ramble on about stuff. What's up, David? not getting a lot of comments, so I guess I'll tell you guys what I was doing today. I didn't make a video of it because I didn't think people wanted to watch paint dry, but I pulled all of the turbo kit off the car today, and I prepped it, cleaned it up, and painted it with some Rust-Oleum high temp paint. I'll get an update video soon. I'll show you guys how it turned out. It turned out really nice. That mild steel was starting to rust a little bit, even just sitting in my garage. That's why stainless steel is preferable when you're building any kind of exhaust or turbo hot side, but it's more expensive and it costs more to weld. It's a different process to weld stainless steel than mild steel. But it turned out really nice, so y'all be on the lookout for an update video on that stuff. Danny G. Oh, Slow. Oh, shoot. What's up, Theo? I ain't talked to you in a minute, brother. Slow J said, what is the initial timing on your car? Initial timing, I usually idle the car around 19 degrees of timing at idle. What radiator are you using on the Mustang? Danny G asked. Danny, I'm using a universal radiator from Jeg that's currently on the car. It's a dual pass radiator. That means the coolant has to pass through the radiator twice on an upper portion and a lower portion before it goes back into the engine. It's supposed to cool a little bit better than a single pass because the water's spending more time in the radiator, therefore more heat's being pulled out of it. It's the same side entrance and exit, so I can keep both hoses on the same side of the engine. Bill Graham said, what tire setup am I running? Bill, I'm running I'm running 15 by 10 billet specialty rears, the street light, billet specialty street lights. They're 3.5 inch backspace because my rear end's narrowed, with some Mickey Thompson 275/60 Pro radials, and then the front tires are 17 by 4.5 SVE wheels. They're pretty much a race star wheel. I'd like to upgrade to something different, but that's what I have for now. And I have the Mickey Thompson front runners on those. Super chat. Alex, thanks, brother. I appreciate it, man. I didn't even know about Super Chat until I watched you and Xander last night on it. Alright. Spooling Up Performance said, start up the Super Chat for this man. Building race cars is not cheap. Hit the money sign and donate. Thanks again, brother. I think we all need a little bit of money for our project cars. Trying to figure this out. This thing wants me to read out loud. Start. Okay, there we go. Got a lot of comments. And my computer, I hate this computer, guys. Do not get an HP. It sucks. Yeah. It just does whatever it wants. Alright, here we go. I got my wife's phone. Fatboy Racing said, saw those twins on the post. What's up with that? You going twins? No. That was my new 80mm turbo and my old 76mm turbo. Fatboy Racing. I just took a picture of them side by side. Texas Performance Truck. So what's the difference between the 4-valve that's in the Lincoln and the Cobra? I'm no expert. I would say that the 4-valve in the Lincoln probably just has your typical powdered metal I-beam rods with powdered metal or hyper Technic pistons, whereas the 0304 Cobra came with Manley rods and Manley pistons from the factory. Bear Antoine said, What's up, brother? He said, what's up with my cam specs, or is it top secret? Bear, those specs are a little secret just because I pay Todd to do them, and if I just gave them out, anyone would be able to go duplicate them. Kind of taken away from the work that he puts into them. So that's one of the few things that I keep secret on the car. Casey said, how are the aerospace brakes doing? They're doing good so far, man. I'm still working on fittings to hook the brake lines back up and bleed them, so they'll actually be working on the car, but I think they're going to help out a lot this year. Danny said, looks spacious, needing something like that to keep my build cool. Thanks, man. No problem, Danny. Heck yeah, man. $10 is $10. I'm doing an on-3 kit with the 76mm wide scope pistons, some cams from Todd, ported PI heads, 9-to-1 compression. What kind of power do you think I'm looking at? Jonathan Mack asked. Jonathan, the sky's the limit really with that 76mm turbo. I'd say you should be able to make an honest 750 wheel horsepower through an automatic. If you're putting it through a manual, you'll probably make closer to 800, 850 with that turbo, according to what size the turbine is. With the 76mm turbos, the limiting factor on those is how big the turbine is, because the compressor wheel will flow a lot of air for a lot of horsepower, but you run into back pressure issues if you have too small of a turbine. So if you have like the 75mm turbine, like a Precision 76, 75, then you could push that a lot farther than you would be able to push like your typical like 76, 65 turbo, just because you're going to be able to you're going to have less back pressure. Mike said all depends on your tune. Yep. So it all depends on how high you want to turn the boost up. What's up, George? Boosted Vert. What's up? Everyone knows Jeff, Boosted Vert. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, y'all head on over and check him and Alex Lista out, spooling up performance after this live video, and check the content out. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it if you enjoy my videos, and hit that subscribe button and help those guys out. Jeff had his car on a trailer today. He said he was taking it somewhere to get something done, so I'm interested to see what that's all about. Maybe there'll be a video coming up soon. KD's building my own 2000 GT, going to go against the Four Gods and put a 427 Chevy in it. Love your mod motor power car though. How did you set up your rear end suspension? Yeah, to each their own, KD. I mean, I have nothing against putting a Chevy in a Ford. It's not my personal preference, but an engine is an engine. I'm not brand loyal. You know, most people, they get all up in arms about it, are brand loyal guys. Ford's never done nothing for me. How did I set my rear suspension up? Kind of a rule of thumb is to basically go to, of course, aftermarket lower control arm, aftermarket upper control arms. You can either go with the stock location upper control arms, or you can go to a relocated upper control arm. I prefer the relocated upper control arm. You need to keep like a V8, the V8 stock style spring in there, or you can get like a Team Z drag spring or something. Cut the spring to get your lower control arms about parallel with the ground. When you do that, it should get your instant center and your anti-squat pretty close, and the car should work pretty well. It's a good starting point. And then a good double adjustable shock always helps as well. If you go with the relocated upper control arm, you get even more anti-squat, which means that the car will separate the rear tires from the body more, and it'll hit the tires more aggressively, which is good on a drag radial. Bill Graham said, I have a D1 Pro Charger. Do you think pump gas or E85 on 20 pounds? Bill, I would just always suggest try to go E85, especially when you're pushing that much boost and probably the amount of power you're going to be pushing. E85 has a lot more It has a lot larger tuning window, and it's a lot more forgiving if there is something funky going on in the tune or low fuel pressure or whatever. The E85 is going to be a lot more forgiving than 93 is going to be, especially that power level. Vortec 2 valve said, what fuel line am I using? Some people will probably get mad when I tell them this because a lot of people don't believe in the type of line I'm running, but I am running the Fragola push lock line. It's still a nylon braided line. It's rated for E85, but instead of having your typical AN fitting that has the nut that goes on the line, and then you put the end of the fitting into the hose and then tighten that nut up on the line, with the push lock, all you do is there's a barb on your AN fitting, and you take that hose and you push it onto that barb. Now it's hard to do. What I have to do is I have to put the hose in boiling water, get it really, really hot, really soft, and then I have to be really quick and get the hose put onto the barb. Seen like 70, 80 psi fuel pressure, and I've never popped a fuel line or anything like that, and those hoses have worked great. So to each their own. I'll continue to use them. They work great. Dirty Mechanic, what's up? Julia Rodriguez, what's up? Dirty Mechanic said, what's the plan for 2019? Get this car going, get out and do some testing. Hopefully I don't have to do make too many adjustments. Hopefully the car runs pretty similar to what it did last year off the trailer with less boost. I learned a lot of things about the car this last season, and I know what it takes to make it work, and I kind of know the route that I have to take to make all the stuff that I'm putting on the car work. So hopefully, like I say, maybe it'll only take me 2 or 3 track outings to get the car really dialed in and working as well as it was at the end of this last season. Jason, I ended up selling those gears like the day after I said they were for sale in that video. Edward Yanis asked, how long does it take to spool and trans brake if you ever considered nitrous for spooling and cooling with the turbo? Edward, my wife won't let me put nitrous on the car. I have thought about it. It would definitely help. But with slow tuning, there's ways to tune the car to spool the turbo up faster, and that's the way that I go about doing it. Fat Boy Race said, "What does that pillow say? I can't read it." Oh, that pillow has just got my name, my wife's name, and my son and my daughter's name on it. Are you changing converter? Oh, Alex asked, are you changing converter after this trans freshen up? Alex, my cam guy, suggested that I change the converter, but I talked to Cameron. I know you know Cameron Powers. He builds my transmission, builds a lot of TX400s around here. He suggested that I try the converter I have, and then if it's too tight or whatever, then we can send it back to PTC and get it restalled. But it's free to try the converter I have now, instead of sending it back without any data with this new setup and kind of just shooting in the dark, so to speak, on the converter. So I'm going to keep the converter I have. If it go out to the track, test it, and see how it does, and if it's good, then of course keep it, and then if not, I'll send some data to PTC and send it back and get it restalled. KD, we don't care whose name's on it, just how fast it goes. Another thing, are you on pump gas or E? Jonathan, I'm on ethanol from the pump. Mustang Manny, the rear end, it has the big Ford ends on it. I don't have axle measurements. I had them written down somewhere, but I think I lost the paper. Racecraft is really nice stuff. Major League, that's kind of what I'm hoping for, man. 900 to 1,000 on maybe 25 pounds with the trick flow heads and the bigger turbo. Alan Cox best asked what are the best timing components to use. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I had all the trick flow timing components on my car for like the last 3 years, and I had no issues out of them. I've seen people say they broke the trick flow chains. I never broke one. You guys have seen how hard I've been on my car. I basically bought it's just the full timing kit from Trick Flow. It comes with the tensioners, the guides, the crank sprocket, the cam gears, all that stuff, and I never had an issue out of it. Just the only thing with the timing components is make sure that you get the metal guides and you get the metal tensioners, because the plastic tensioners are kind of crappy. You want to get the metal ones. No problem, Bill. Fat Boy Racing, I've got a PTC 9.5 inch. It's got an 18.2 stator. I don't really know what that means, but that's what it has in it. Stalled to about 4,000 RPM, and it had about 2% slip on the big end, so it couples up really hard up top. That's the great thing. Great thing about the PTC 9.5 inch is it acts real loose down low, and then the higher you spin the engine, the tighter the converter gets. Oh yeah, it's gonna be cool, brother. Thanks, Major League. No problem, Jason. What's up, Jose? What's up, Zachary? It's going pretty good, man. Just kind of taking a break. I was outside in the garage from like 12 to 5 painting all my hot side parts. Stay tuned for an update on that stuff, but it's really it was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. Thanks, Dirty Mechanic. Maybe I'll hit that 7 this year. What kind of tuner? I'm running a Holly HP ECU. As far as racing the turbo down the corner, man, just get it spooled on the line and keep. If you got a 6-shift car, do your best to keep the turbo spooled all the way down the quarter mile, man. You want to stay in boost as much as you can down the track. I mean, with an automatic, that wouldn't be an issue. I'm not sure what kind of transmission you're running. Sam, I'll talk about anything, man. I just didn't really know what to name the video, so it was just kind of like off the whim title for the video. Yes, I am going to upgrade the chain guys to billet. I actually have them. I'll show you guys in the next video. I went with the Shelby Mike billet tensioner arms. Corey Petrie wants to go Holly, but know nothing about tuning. So since I'm in Tennessee, you're going to let me drop my car off at your house and you hook me up. Corey, I'll tune your car, man. I don't really have a lot of time to turn wrenches on a car. I actually rebuilt a buddy's engine in his car, brought the car to the house, pulled the engine out, rebuilt it, put it back in, and just doing that one time kind of showed me that I'm not ready to work on other people's stuff, just because I work from 9 to 5, sometimes even longer every day, and when I get home, if I'm not working on my stuff, it's just I didn't have enough time to spend with the family. So I'll tune a car, but I will tune a car on Holly. I just don't have time to turn wrenches on one. Zachary Salazar's got an issue with the 2 valve. Not sure if it could help, but I've had a tapping noise. Sounds like it was the lifters getting stuck. I replaced them all with brand new lifters, but the tapping is still there. Check the valve clearance and it's good. I'm out of ideas. My chems are XE274AH. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. You mean, Zachary, you mean you changed out the lash adjusters? Um, as far as the ticking noise, it's generally a lash adjuster. I mean, it could be a follower. You could try changing the followers out, or it could be a valve stem height issue as well. It's hard to say, really. Lockup is the way to go. Corey, it cost me about $1,100 for the cage itself, and then you can go ahead and figure about another. If you go chrome moly, another $600 to $1,000 to get it welded in the car. Mild steel will be a little bit cheaper because it's MIG welded instead of TIG welded. Anthony, the forward-facing plenum, that that intake, you can flip your throttle body forward. There's two different sets of holes that you can put your studs or your bolts in on the upper part of the intake, and you can move the throttle body forward. So it's nothing special. KD, it sounds like that's a hell of a setup, man. That does suck that you got hit. Mustang Manny, I don't know of any downside to the small 9-inch ends. I know any 9-inch end is better than the 8/8 ends. Or like a C-clip eliminator end or something. Randy, I may come up there in September. I'm not sure yet. I usually try to go to Bowling Green every year for the NMRA World Finals. Best internals for 600, 700 horsepower. I was going to use a stock Boss 302 rods, but you were too about God. So I've seen the Boss 302 rods push that far, but I would be a little more comfortable with like just go ahead and toss a set of like Monar H beams in the car. They're $500. Toss a set of those in there with like a Wiseco off the shelf piston or something. You could keep the stock crank, or you can try and get your hands on a Cobra crank. The stock crank will handle 600, 700 horsepower all day, though. Yeah, that's the same thing, David. Try to get like a Monar H beam. Just go ahead and put a stronger rod in it. Spend the $200 extra on them over like a cheaper I-beam forged rod, and then like a Wiseco or kind of really any off-the-shelf piston is pretty good. I prefer Wiseco, or JE makes a really nice off-the-shelf piston as well. Yeah, Jordan at Modular Head Shop is awesome, man. He has pretty much any and everything. I appreciate it, Corey. What is Sam asked? What's my dream car? Money is no object. I'd have to think about that one for as far as dream car, because I generally don't think about those kind of things because they're just unobtainable, and I just don't think about things that are unattainable generally. That's a tough one, man. My dream car. Honestly, the kind of stuff that I like, my dream car would be something like, and it's not like, it wouldn't be like a production car. Like my dream car would be something that I could race in, like Radio versus the World or X275 or LDR, one of those really, really fast drag radio classes. So like, who's someone's car that I really, really, really like in Radio versus the World? I really liked, I want to say it was Daniel Ferris's old car. I really liked that car, like a Radio versus the World built Mustang, like a New Edge like mine or something. Yeah, that would definitely be my dream car. And then of course the toter home and all the tools and the trailer and everything else go along with it. Yeah, Fat Boy Racing, my wife would kill me, man. Even if when I bring up nitrous, she just flips out. It's bad. I don't even bring up nitrous anymore. Crush Factor, what's up, man? Sorry, I didn't get a reply to your comment. I thought that maybe you were one of the guys that was talking about having to work tonight. I'm glad that you got to hop on here and at least see a little bit of the video. Jonathan Mack, where'd I find Ross for 500? Look up Apocalypse Performance. He sells the Monar H beams. They're like 500, 550 bucks maybe. They're pretty sure they're not much more than that. What modifications did I have to do on my drive shaft for the TH400 shop? Vortex 2 valve, I had a whole new drive shaft made by PST out of Florida. I just bought a yoke for the chromoly yoke for the TH400, and I had to go to an actual yoke on the rear end instead of the flange type piece that's normally on the 8.8 rear end. And then I measured for a new drive shaft. The new drive shaft is a 3.5 inch chromoly drive shaft with 1350 U joints. No problem, Zachary. KD, I told everyone last time I babysit grown men for a living. Right? Pro mod, yeah. Adrian, I know you're all about nitrous, man. I would love to have nitrous on my car, but my wife won't let me. She's seen too many nitrous backfires, too many fires, and she just won't let me have it. For you guys that don't know who Adrian is, he just commented on my video. Adrian has one of the craziest DSMs I've ever seen. I don't even know if you would consider it a DSM anymore. It's it's like an Eagle Talon or a Eclipse or something. It's a DSM, and it has a 4-linked rear, but it still has the all-wheel drive up in the front. It had a big, like 70, I think it had what was it? It had a Garrett GT4202, I think, on it. I think those engines are like a 2-liter. He had nitrous. It's fully caged. It's crazy. What's up, Amanda? 74 millimeter. I couldn't remember what the GT4202 was, what size it was. Matt Keller asked if I played with cam timing, and if so, how did you determine where to set the phasing? I use software model to run simulations for my 4-valve to find the best curve. Have you done this? Matt, I have not.
Daddy, eat cake.
Hey, buddy. What's going on? What are you eating?
Cake.
Whoa. Did you eat some candy?
No.
Oh, you ate ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Matt, Todd basically tells me where to put the cams at, what it takes Caroline to put them on, and that's what I do. I'm pretty sure he has a program that he plays with all that stuff on. That stuff's kind of above my head, so I don't mess with it. Do I ever drink Dos Equis? Occasionally. I usually just buy like Miller Lite. Really, I'm pretty simple. I was into the craft beer stuff for a little while, but it's like drinking a craft beer is like drinking a loaf of bread, man. It's bad. Like an IPA or something. Jonathan, I like the Borg Warner better than the Precision. Borg Warner is an OE manufacturer for turbos, and you could just tell the amount of the attention to detail and the tolerances, and you can just tell that the Borg Warner turbo is something that even their race series is manufactured like it was meant to be put on a car and run 300,000 miles. The Precision, they have some of the fastest cars in the world running their turbos, and they're huge in the aftermarket industry, but they're like 2 times the price of a comparable Borg Warner. It's crazy how expensive Precision turbos are. Drinking is car part money. Yeah, that's why, Adrian, that's why I'm drinking Miller Lite, because it's cheap.
Me, Daddy, me, Daddy, me.
I don't know, Amanda. We'll see. There's a lot of competition around here.
Hey, Daddy, hey, Daddy, hey, Daddy, me. Me, Daddy. Okay, Jimmy.
Crush Factor, where are you at? Where are you located at? Sam, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm not one of the flashiest channels around. I just kind of BS on the camera and put it on YouTube. People seem to enjoy it.
Daddy.
Working on my editing, trying to get the editing a little bit better on the videos. It's coming around.
Daddy. Daddy.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to race, Mike. Although you might have me covered if you're putting an 88 millimeter on a 4-valve.
Daddy. Daddy. Daddy.
Love you too, Amanda. What's up, buddy?
Me.
Huh?
Papa. Me.
What do y'all think about me bringing Sergio on one of these live feeds? Maybe I can get him to show his face. He's kind of weird about showing his face on social media, but I could probably talk him into it. You crazy, Adrian. I'm worried about spooling this 80 millimeter I got on the car right now. Witness protection, Sergio. Something, yeah. Have to get hit up Alex. Maybe do a live video with Alex. Him and another YouTuber, Xander13, did a live video last night. I really enjoyed watching. It's a lot easier to kind of talk about different subjects when you have more than one person on the live feed. I got my son over here, but all he wants to do is mess with the computer down here.
Me too, Daddy.
Shepherdsville, okay. Yeah, man, it's been cold around here. Trunk back, what's up, brother? What are you doing down there?
Oh, me. Oh, me. Me. Me, Daddy. Me, Daddy.
Yeah, this is the perfect race season down in Florida right now. This is like the best racing time of the year down in Florida. Everyone's racing right now. Mike J, my old engine had 10-to-1 compression, and the new engine is going to be 11.5-to-1 compression ratio. Maybe get Boosted Vert on one of these live videos too, so you can talk all about LS stuff. Super chat, Jeremy, I appreciate it, man. What's up, brother? How you been? Yeah, I'll definitely have a beer on you. I'm almost done with this one. I'll go get a second one. Renegade 75, why didn't I stay with the 4R70W? I didn't like the short first gear in the 4R70. The 4R70 has a 284 first gear, and when you start making a lot of horsepower, you start getting what they call the starting line ratio. It makes it a lot harder to keep the car hooked up. So I went with the TH400 that has a 248 first gear. It kind of drags first gear out a little bit. It kind of knocks that starting line ratio down. It makes the power a little bit more manageable. And the next step from that would be going to like a power glide that has a stock power glide has like a 180 first gear.
Why you, Mommy?
Also, I started to twist the splines on the direct drum in the 4R70, so I would have had to go to a welded drum, and it was just my buddy Cameron builds TH400s for a living, and it was the better choice just to go to TH400. 11 point. I'm doing 11.5 compression because of the dynamic compression that I'm gonna have once I put those really rowdy cams in it. So it's not all about what your static compression ratio is, it's about what your dynamic compression ratio is. So the more rowdy of a cam you have, the more compression you can run. It's a little more technical than that, but basically the more overlap you have, the more, I believe, the more compression gets bled off, so you can run more aggressive compression ratio. And then E85, of course, helps. Trevor, I could definitely get into and do a video on how the Holley's wired up in my car. It's really not a bad install. Fairly simple, especially if you're just putting the Holley in and still going to run all the other stock body harness stuff. Fat Boy Racing said, "Grab another beer." Corey, no, I'm gonna run 30 pounds, 35 pounds of boost with that 11.5 to 1 compression ratio, man. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in, Crush Factor. Don't work too hard, brother. Jonathan Mack, I'll be at the Streetcar Takeover in Indianapolis, probably the Streetcar Takeover in Bowling Green. Thanks, baby. And maybe another Streetcar Takeover. I really want to go to the next YouTube call out. I don't know where it's going to be, but when I find out, I'm definitely going to try and make it to that. That's good, Jeremy. Mike J, yeah, I would say, I don't know who, I would plug some numbers in and kind of check your dynamic compression ratio and do a little bit of research before you just start throwing compression at it. Maybe if you have cams from Todd, then he could tell you what compression ratio you need to run. Say 10 to 1's a kind of middle ground. Jonathan, my fuel system's not top secret. It's a Division X hat and a 0304 Cobra tank. It has twin Walbro 465 pumps, a Dash 8 feed, and a Dash 6 return with Holley 160 pound per hour fuel injectors. Matt Keller, I have a Texas block. I bored at 20 over, and the cylinder walls get pretty thin at 20 over. And I made about 1,000 crank horsepower on it, and I never had an issue. I was probably close to the limits on that, though. But now that same Texas, it is getting sleeves put in it. Thanks, Matt. I'll make 1,500 wheel horsepower. I doubt it. I don't think it's gonna make that much. TX2K19. I don't know how my car would fare down there at TX2K, man. There's a lot of fast cars down there. Corey, I babysit grown men for a living in the aviation industry. Adam, I think if you have like the SCT software where you could tune out the passive anti-theft, I believe you could make a 4-valve ECU work on a 2-valve. I've never tried it though, and I've never really looked into it. So I would actually probably have to do a little bit of research on that and see. Ice cream cruise near Omaha. Man, I would love to make it to the ice cream cruise. Jeff, Boosted Vert, is actually going to the ice cream cruise, and he's going to race Sketchy Vert up there. I've been following the ice cream cruise since I was in high school watching 1320 video, and that used to be their big videos with the ice cream cruise. They don't really do as many videos on it anymore. I don't know if it's not as big, but I would love to make it up there. So me and Jeff, I may come up there with Jeff when he goes.
No, Connor.
Maybe get a chance to race Cletus McFarlane or someone.
God is doing another life.
Fat Boy Racing, you're down. Where you out of? Vortec 2 valve. My car weighs 3,200 pounds with me in it. Trevor, I run boost leash. I like it better than the Holley boost control. It's right there on my dash. It's easier to adjust and it's a little more simple. I run the boost leash and the bump box combined. Race Leroy. I'd like to run Leroy in the 8th mile. I think my car will run some very similar times in the 8th mile. Maybe, yeah, right there on par with what he runs. Quarter mile wise, though, I don't know. Maybe he'll miss a gear or something. Right, Jeremy? Well, they broke. Yeah, so I can't believe they reused that secondary timing chain. That's a no-no on 4-valve motors. It's always, generally, you even want to go to like an upgraded secondary timing chain on those 4-valve motors. So they have that one coming. LS engines are easy to build. That's why everyone loves them so much. They don't want to mess with the mod motors. They're a little more complicated. Oh, North Carolina, Charlotte area. Okay. Fat Boy Racing, I think you're around. I don't know if you watch John Dock's YouTube channel. I watch a lot of his stuff. And I'm pretty sure he's out of North Carolina. We may have talked about this on the last video. But I would like to come up there and race the Camaro or any of his other cars. I've said some stuff to him on Instagram. He doesn't ever respond to anything on there. Yeah, you would think so, Jeremy. I don't know, man. That Cletus McFarlane puts out Garrett. His name's Garrett. They put out some really good content, man. But Garrett doesn't really know what he's doing when it comes to cars. The dude can drive. He has a lot of experience driving, which he's gotten from working in the YouTube industry. The other guy, his mechanic, he knows what he's doing. But he's an LS guy, not really a Ford guy, so. What's his name? Jeremy. Jeremy's his mechanic. That dude's really smart. He has like a stock bottom in LS and a 240 nitrous car goes like 550s an 8th mile. Mustang Manny, you see, that's the thing. I don't know, man. I don't know how fast the Camaro is. How fast do you think the Camaro runs? I think it's been, I'd say the Camaro on a good pass has been 550s or 560s. And then what is his other car? The Salty Chicken. That car is probably faster than the Camaro with the new setup he's doing. Yeah, I remember the Illuminator long box, man. I remember a guy around here tossed one of those in a Cobra. Garrett's a law student. The dude's very, very smart, and he knows what people want to watch and what people want to see. And he's very entertaining. That's why his YouTube has gotten so big. He's not really big on the tech stuff. A lot of people don't want to see the tech stuff. They just want to be entertained, and he definitely does that. Build airplanes for the Navy. Nice. Sounds like a pretty sweet gig. Mooresville, Piedmont. Nice local tracks. Okay. What do y'all think? Has anyone else got a theory on how fast the Camaro goes? Anyone that watches John Dock? How fast y'all think that car is? How do y'all think the old white girl would do against it?
You want marshmallow?
Vortec 2 valve, I did not have to modify anything. The Edelbrock elbow I have, the 90mm throttle body will bolt straight to that elbow with no modification.
turn a marshmallow.
480s on nitrous. Yeah, I could believe a big block Ford, a big block Chevy going 480s easily on nitrous. Probably a lot of small block stuff out there that goes 4s on nitrous.
I'm gonna put a marshmallow.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, James is his mechanic.
Daddy,
What?
why is it not showing the real thing?
Hmm?
Like, why is it showing what you did before, not what you're doing now?
I don't know. It looks like it's freezing up. Mike J, yeah, his car. Yeah, it's probably 1,200 real horsepower, and then it weighs about 4,000 pounds.
Me. Connor, what are you doing? The computer. Me? Let me do the touch-up. Me go touch-up.
Those rods, they're the same ones. 399, 900 horsepower rated.
Hey.
There's 3 types of videos: information, tech up, entertainment, Cletus, and girls seeking attention. Yeah. I can't get over some of these female YouTubes that they pop up on like my recommended videos, and I click on their YouTube channel. They've got like 3 or 4 videos that like they wear like a low cut shirt, show their boobs, and they've got like 5,000 subscribers already. I'm like, golly, I need to grow a set of boobs. Uh, my fuel regulator is right up behind the fuel rails, Trevor. It's a Magna Fuel, and I haven't had any issues going lean. Scott Roxby, that's funny. My time's close to the Calmero. Yeah, I think we're fairly close. My car's a lot lighter than his is. His car seems to be hit or miss on whether it makes a good pass or not. Do I like bias ply or radial tires better? I like radial tires for a nice prep track. Ply tires better for like a no prep or a marginal prep track. Fat Boy Racing. I watched Carolina, or I watched Spooled Media. Woman driven GT350 in Arizona grew from 10,000 subs to 70,000 subs in the last 2 months. Y'all, I'm gonna get my old lady to just go on here and start showing her half her boobs and stuff working on the car. Maybe I'll get 10,000 subs next week. Bryson, where would I recommend getting a good dyno tune? Hook, look up, look up Fifth Gear Automotive in Nashville. Taylor Curtis tunes out of there. He does really good. He's a really good tuner. I think he tunes SCT, so he would be able to tune your car. Yeah, Mike. They don't. No one wants to see me wear a low cut shirt. uh, uh, any other standalone system in the Holly price range? I like the MS3 Pro stuff, but they don't make a harness for the mod motor. So you would have to make your own. But I know a lot of people that have had really good success with MS3 Pro or MS3 Ultimate, the Mega Squirt ECUs. Hey, I get a lot of comments, but since no one's commenting right now, see what everyone else thinks on here. I've gotten several comments on my channel lately. People asking how come the car didn't make 1,000 horsepower and all this other stuff, and it got me to thinking how jaded the internet has made horsepower numbers. Like 1320 video has made horsepower numbers just, they are not what people think they are. Like, I went 850s and people saw my car on the dyno making 840 horsepower to the tires, and they're like, you got to be sandbagging on the dyno or something's up with it. And it's not true. I mean, you can go 850s at 3,200 pounds with 840 to like 900 rear wheel horsepower. And I think a lot of people have that jaded. Like, if you haven't ridden in a true 600-700 horsepower car, then you need to. It's very fast, and you start talking about 1,000 wheel horsepower car, and that kind of car is insanely fast. You're talking about a car that will spin the freaking tires from over 100 mile an hour roll on the highway with a good sticky tire. 1,000 horsepower car is insane, scary, like scared the crap out of you, scary. My car at probably 700 to 750 wheel horsepower was ridiculous on the street. I'm talking it would, it'd pull away from a 1,000cc bike on the street. Yeah, no problem, Brighton. Gabe, the hood off my car is the cow induction hood that you can buy off Late Model Restoration. I can't remember what the brand is. Yeah, you're right, Jeremy. Jeremy said Faster Proms. It's Cletus's friend. I watched Jeremy from Faster Proms. He made a good comment about dynos in one of his videos. He said a dyno is a tuning tool. It's to detect changes in the tune, not for measuring power. Yeah, I agree completely, Jeremy. The one thing that I like about putting like my car in specifically on the dyno is you can find what they call like MBT, or basically you can find the max amount of spark advance that you can put into the car before it stops making any more horsepower at a certain boost level. Because even with E85 or a really good fuel, you can continue to add timing without knock. But there's a point to where you don't make any more horsepower by adding timing. And that's the good thing about a dyno is you can keep tossing a degree after a degree after a degree until the car stops picking up horsepower, and then you can pull like a degree back out of it. And now you're making the most horsepower the safest way possible. I appreciate it, Fat Boy Racing. How long have we been going on this thing, guys? An hour and 17 minutes right now. Mike Default, small block forward to the front. Hell yeah, man. What's up, Mike? How you been, brother? I almost went small block Ford this winter. I had a chance to get a I want to say it was like a 331 or something. It was a dark block. Had AFR 205s on it, and a couple of other things. And I almost ditched the two valve and went small block Ford, but kind of decided not to. Working like crazy. I feel you, man. Uh, yeah, man. I hope you're out there racing. What do you got in the works? I haven't really seen anything lately. I know you had the Red Fox body that you had put the LS in, and I think you sold it before you went overseas, and then I haven't really seen much since you got back. Something in the works, something top secret. Well, hopefully it's a Ford, man. It's lonely out here. Am I ever gonna build another drag car? I'd like to build another drag car for my wife. Maybe sometime down the road if my YouTube channel blows up and I actually can make enough money to afford to race cars. Sound, it's got an O2 for 12 years. Full bolt-ons with the cams, made 291. What would you do next? I'd toss like a 100 shot on it, Sam. Just have a little bit of fun with it. 351 modified? I don't know too much about those. Jeremy, I remember back in the day whenever you had that Trans Am, man, with the LT1, man, we thought that thing was fast. Yeah, for sure, KD. My kids are really enjoy the racing and race car stuff. My son's been at the racetrack since he was probably 6 months old. We probably had him at the racetrack with hearing protection and stuff, of course, but he's pretty much grown up at the racetrack. He loves it. My daughter actually wants a junior dragster, so we may look into something like that. I would enjoy watching my kids race and just me tinker around on their stuff and have fun. So that might be something that I'll look into here in the future. A junior dragster would be a hell of a lot cheaper than my car, that's for sure. Lenny, my old on 3 kit did come with 2.5 inch from the turbo to the intercooler. I went 880s with that 2.5 inch pipe on there. I upgraded this last year to 3 inch pipe right there, and I honestly don't think it made much of a difference. Maybe a little bit. I did go 850s, but I had a better converter and a better transmission. I believe my old setup with the 2.5 inch pipe on there, I believe with the PTC converter and the TX400, that car would have probably went 860s. All right, thanks for tuning in, Jonathan. Good luck, man. Eli Gonzalez, the MMR engine parts are fine, but do not get a engine assembled by them. Oh, okay. 351 modified as a Cleveland with 400 heads. Don't the Cleveland heads flow really well, Fat Boy Racing? Oh, Vortec 2 Valve asked me to give you guys a little bit of backstory on my car. Oh man. Alright, this is gonna take a little bit. Alright, so I have owned White Girl since I was 19 years old. It's the first car I ever owned. Like I said, bought it when I was 19, and it was completely stock. It had a set of Flowmasters on it. I started modifying it with the little bit of money that I made back then. I put a cold air on it. I put 373 gears. I put the short throw shifter. You know, all this typical bolt-on stuff. And I used to take that thing to the drag strip like every weekend, man. I think it ran a best of like 8.7 in the 8th mile with a 17-inch Netto drag radial on the back. A couple years later, you know, I started to make a little bit more money, and I was able to afford a Vortex supercharger. Tossed the Vortex supercharger on there. It was non-intercooled, of course. Tossed all the supporting mods on there, fuel injectors, fuel pump. Got the car tuned at a little shop up in Kentucky called Speedy Dyno. I think the guy's name's Greg. The car put down like 370 horsepower to the tire on like 10 pounds of boost, I think, through the Vortec. Never really got the car to the track to see what it would run with the Vortec on it. I'm actually originally from Georgia. Drove the car down to Georgia. Had a guy that wanted to race me in a Trans Am, and I blew the car up racing a Trans Am. So I had to get back up to Kentucky or Tennessee for work. So I left the car back home. Took some time off from work, went down, spent a week with my buddy Jeremy Biggers, who's actually been commenting on these videos. Me and him put a built MMR short block in the car, and we just, I screwed up. It was late. Been working on the car all day. It was the first time I had ever pulled an engine and installed a new engine in the car, and I put the head gaskets on backwards. I put the right side head gasket on the left side, the left side head gasket on the right side. Got the car put all back together, poured coolant in it, and it was leaking coolant all over the floor, and I had to go back to Tennessee. So left the car with a old friend of the family. He worked on it, and I bought, like I said, a Comp 278 cams for it and stuff, and had all that stuff put in it. Got the right head gaskets put on it, and came back. This is before I knew you had to degree cams. Degree the Comp 278s or degree cams in general. I just didn't know back then. I was not nearly as mechanically inclined or knew nearly as much as I know now. Drove the car all the way back from Georgia up to Tennessee with it valves hitting the pistons and didn't know it. Had a bunch of issues out of it. Tore up like 2 pistons. Put 2 new pistons in it. Finally got the cams degreed in it. And that's the videos you guys seen with the Vortec. I think I had the same heads. I had those DSS ported heads that are the ones I just got rid of. Ran the car. It was still a 5-speed there for a little bit. I think the best I ever ran with it was like 8.1. I just couldn't get any traction with it. Decided to go auto. I put a 4R70 in it. The car went 7.5, I think, 7.5 or 7.4 in the 8th mile. Not really. That was just like pretty much rolled to the track and made a couple passes and didn't really do too much to it. I'll hit you in a minute, buddy. Turns out I had a busted transmission mount, and my transmission cooler lines were rubber, and I was torquing the transmission and I was kinking up the cooler lines. And what I was doing was creating a lot of pressure, and it was causing the torque converter to press into the back of the engine, and it destroyed my thrust bearing and ate into my oil pump and destroyed my engine. At that point, I sold the supercharger, decided I was going to go turbo. I went with the On3 turbo kit, kept the 470 transmission. I built the engine myself this time, did the Texas block build, which you guys can follow on the channel. And that, I had the on 3 turbo to start off with. I upgraded to the precision turbo. Did a lot of tweaking and whatnot. Went 880s at my nationals last year. Redid a few things over the winter. More aggressive cams. Went to a BorgWarner 76 millimeter and went 850s at my nationals here at the end of the season this year. So that's kind of the whole backstory on the car. I've owned the car for almost 10 years. I've owned that car, and it was like I said, it was completely stock when I bought it. What's up?
I want a Junior Jackster.
Mm.
I want to race. Yeah.
2-valve Jesus. That's funny. Vortec 2-valve. I'm originally from Fitzgerald, Georgia. It's about an hour north of Valdosta, Georgia. So it's pretty far down south. Yeah, that was fun, Jeremy. That's the first time we had ever pulled an engine out of a car. I don't think we didn't really know what we were doing. Put pistons in upside down one time years ago. That's actually an easy thing to do. Put pistons in upside down if you're not careful. Yeah, Eli, I definitely love that car, man. I never get rid of it. I got a whole lot of stories with it. It's been with me my entire adult life, and it ain't going anywhere. Dang, we got 37 viewers right now, more than we had earlier. Jonathan, yeah, I did talk about ring gaps in one of my videos. Would I go to TX2K? I'd like to go down there and maybe spectate, but I don't think my car would have much for most of the cars down there. And I don't even know how far it would be for me to drive to Houston. It'd have to be like 16, 17 hours to get to Houston. It would be a cool experience. I'd like to do it someday, but I just don't have enough money to go do everything I want to. YTH 400. I got a good friend local to me, Cameron Powers, that builds TH 400s and stuff for a living. And a TH 400 is a lot cheaper to build than a comparable 4R70W. The trans brake is better on the TH 400. It's just overall a better transmission for drag racing. Am I a 4 guy through and through? No, man. I love everything. I really like Chevy stuff. I would love to own like an F body, like a Trans Am. I'd like to have a Trans Am the same color as my car, like a white WS6 Trans Am. I seen one at LS Fest 2 years ago that I fell in love with. Chris D, not really, man. I'm not a huge fan of the stroker stuff. I don't think it's worthwhile. There might be a little bit to it, but the piston speed gets so high with the stroker stuff that it's just you just spend a little bit more RPM with the smaller displacement non-stroker and turn the boost up a little bit. But I definitely think that you'll make plenty of power with the setup that you're going with. You definitely want to have a cam with more duration than a typical stroke 4.6. Renegade, going to a bigger bore, not what most would consider a big bore on a mod motor, because I think that's like a 373 or something. I'm going to a Coyote bore, which is a 3.63, so it is a bigger bore than the mod motor, but it's not a big bore. And the reason why is because the opening on the stock gasket, the stock head gasket on a mod motor is 3.63. So I'm gonna open the cylinder wall up to the limit of that gasket, so I don't have to go to the big bore gasket. It'll help unshroud the intake valve and help those trick flow heads flow a little bit better.
Hey, Daddy. Me, Daddy. Hey, Daddy. Hey, Daddy.
Yeah, man. Fast doesn't have any name brand, man. I've got plenty of friends that have not really any friends that have Dodge stuff. I don't have a lot of Dodge. Doesn't seem to be as popular as Ford and Chevy, but I got a lot of friends with LS cars. I'd like to maybe mess around and play around with like some LS stuff one day. A few Ford guys. Chevy is definitely the most popular in this neck of the woods. LS stuff, to be specific. Jonathan said what I think about the new GT500. The little bit I've watched, I like it. It's definitely something I would never be able to afford. And I think it should run the quarter mile a little bit faster than what they're claiming. But overall, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like that dual clutch automatic. I think that's the same type of transmission the Nissan GTR has in it.
Okay. Rewind, Daddy.
Mike Payne, I really don't know of any shops up there in New York, man. Just kind of, I tell you what, if you're on Facebook, hop on My Motor Mustangs tech page and post up on there and ask about any good shops around there, and those guys will steer you in the right direction. Sam, the reason I built my car is honestly I was just I got so much money wrapped up in the beginning that it really wasn't cost friendly or cost effective for me to go to a different platform. And after a while, it did turn into me wanting to prove to people that the 2-valve can be fast and it can compete with other platforms. And it's a lot cheaper in a lot of aspects compared to the 4-valve. Mike J, yeah, man, I may look into it, man. When is TX2K? Nevada?
You said New York. You live in Nevada.
Yeah, I thought he said New York. Nevada. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it said New York earlier, Mike. Nevada. Yeah. Once again, man, you just have to get on like My Motor Mustangs and put out a post and ask. Someone will steer you in the right direction. 1987 Z28, owned since new. That's wild, man. March 16th, spring break. Okay. I don't know if my car's gonna be running by March 16th, to be honest with you. I'm still waiting on the block and I'm still waiting on the heads. No problem, Mike. Alright guys, well I think I've been at this thing for probably like an hour and a half now. And seems like we've answered all the questions that are going to be asked, and I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. I'm thinking about the next live video, maybe getting Sergio in here, and maybe you guys can ask him some questions on fab type stuff, and we can just BS and have a good time on the live feed. We got a couple more comments popping in here. Street racing had fun with 700 horsepower. Okay. Yeah, man, I'd like to come down there sometime. I kind of enjoy a little bit of street racing, even though I don't really like to do it very much. FL2K in October? Yeah, I may do that, Jeremy, because my car's not going to be tore down next winter. So I actually may try and get down to Florida sometime next winter, just because the racing's so good down there this time of year. What's with the intake valve mod? Todd has mentioned it in post but didn't elaborate. Is it just for piston clearance? Renegade, what intake valve mod are you talking about? And like what's being done to the intake valve? Yeah, Gersane, I would like to put like a because my new setup should make around 1,000 horsepower at the wheels. I would like to do like a traction control setup on there, and I think that thing would be nasty from a roll because a lot of those guys that make big power, it seems like they have a hard time hooking it up. So if I could get the traction control working on there and lay 1,000 horsepower down, I think it'd be a force to be reckoned with. All right, Fat Boy Racing, we'll see you, brother. Oh, Renegade R75 cutting the backside. Yeah, so you can cut the stock valve. It's only on the stock valves because they have like a little dish to them. And I had it done on my old valves. You actually can cut the lip of the valve down, and what it does is it gives you more piston to valve clearance to play with on a PI head that doesn't have much piston to valve clearance. So it's worthwhile if you have a PI head with stock valves, but if you go to an aftermarket stainless valve, it's already low profile, so there's no need to cut it.
Daddy. Wow. Daddy. Wow.
Yeah, you're right, Jeremy. I might need some longer gears. I don't know. Spinning 8,000 RPM with 355s, I'd have to put it in a calculator and see what it would do. I think the car would probably do 175, 180 with 355s in it. Yeah, no problem, Renegade.
Daddy. Wow.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing. Hey, I really appreciate. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. This stuff's kind of lag, guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and close this live video down. I really appreciate everyone that tuned in. Big shout out to Alex for hitting me up with the super chat, and thanks to Jeremy Biggers as well for the super chat, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys stay tuned. We got some more videos coming out, and I'm gonna try to do these live videos more often because it seems like you guys enjoy them. So I hope everyone has a good rest of their weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later.